I've got it installing for a random thing. No, I haven't been talking. Yeah, I've got it installing for a. It's one of those free trial games. So I get 100 I get 100 silver coins for just downloading it and booting it up to the main menu. So I said, why not? We'll start here in just a moment. Give me just 1 second, and we'll hop in. Get that out. Okay. Hopefully that's what installs in the background. Usually just like full on pauses it. It's really annoying. And it'll be all right. Hey, cool. Hey, new. How's it going? Doing all right. Bit sad that my week off is gone, given I now have to work the next 2 days. But whatever. Hours are good. I had 11 hours this week, and I just gained 13 more. So. Oh, this Puzzles and Dragons? No, this is a new. This is like a unique version. It's kind of eh. It's all right. I like it though. It's got like online multiplayer battles and stuff. It's kind of neat. They got a lot of events, but the single player is honestly kind of lacking. But I like it. It's kind of neat. Yep, doing all right. Doing all right. All right, now we have to deal with this friggin' Abominus though at some point today. But yes, we do have to do gameplay first. Let's hope the gameplay doesn't take long, or doesn't screw us over like it did yesterday. Oh my god, it's already screwing us over. Up here, I'm not gonna go there and then like do. I don't want to do any outbreaks right now. I just want to go in, pop out, and then we can start this distortion grind, because yesterday we literally wasted the first hour of the stream standing around doing nothing, and we didn't even get a distortion out of it. And I would really prefer not to do that today when Abominus was probably going to take the entirety. Are you serious? Really, game? Come on. When Abominus was probably going to take a good chunk of the stream. Yeah, because this one's kind of unfortunate with its tasks, but we'll make it work. I have a general strategy for it, but yeah. Alright, now let's just hope and pray that the game is nice to us this time, because yesterday it was the furthest from kind it could possibly get. We waited almost a full 40 minutes, and then it started storming. So, yeah, no distortion happened yesterday. But, yeah, now we get on to the fun part. There you go, you guys enjoying your gameplay? You better. Oh, such a waste of time. I can't believe you people talked me into doing this. Like, on stream. I tried to convince you that I would do it off stream. But nope. Because I had to see this intensive gameplay. So how's everybody in chat doing today? Anything interesting to report? I would say I have a potential Facebook Marketplace deal going on right now. We'll see if it goes through. But if it does, oh, it's gonna be very nice. Yeah, we'll see if I can get these or not. They live an hour away, and I really just do not want to go through the effort of going an hour for these for 2 Xbox 360 games. But from the sounds of things, they seem willing to ship, so I'm gonna pay the shipping cost. And with all good luck, I'll have them for a very cheap price. Which is $5 a piece, plus whatever the shipping is. Which normally the shipping wouldn't be worth it, but in this case it is because they're two $30 Xbox 360 games. It's the Guitar Hero. Which Guitar Hero is it? For some reason, Guitar Hero games on Xbox 360 are almost all really expensive. It is Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock on the Xbox 360. It's worth $30. So that one's one of them, and the other one is the 2K. What was it? Rogues. Yeah, the 2K Rogues and Outlaws collection, which is also $35. It's basically a triple pack. It's got the Line, or it's Spec Ops: The Line, Borderlands 2, and Mafia 2 all in one like collection pack, and that's worth $35. So yeah, with all due luck, with a bit of good luck there, that'll be a very good deal for me. They had a bunch of other 360 games too, but those were like the only two that were actually worth me paying the shipping for. They had like some sports games in there and some other random stuff, but nope, I ain't paying $5 a piece for sports games, and I ain't paying any shipping on a sports game unless like we get to the very end of my collection and they're like the last games I need. But I highly doubt that'll happen. Like, I highly doubt that a sports game will be the last game I need on the PS2 because they're freaking everywhere. Honestly, the last thing I'm going to need on my PS2 collection is a therapist. Because, oh my god, I have a feeling that my mental state is going to be broken by the time I end up getting there. Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Cool. It came through here a few hours ago. Yeah. Yeah. Just your average run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. There was a severe chance up here earlier, but it never happened, so, whatever. It was a... Honestly, it barely even stormed here. It kind of, like, slid past us, for the most part. Uh... Oh, and it, like... Oh, okay. I've looked at those. We actually have them at work. Which is so weird. I don't know why Kohl's sells those, but it's kind of amusing. They're actually on sale, too. But they're not worth grabbing, really. I think their max speed is only like 20 miles an hour. Which is decent, but... Yeah, no, it's just still a pretty lengthy ride into town if I were to do that, to take that route. If I lived in town, oh no, that would be fine. But no, I don't live in town. I live like 15 minutes out of town. When the speed limit is 45. So, yeah. But they do seem neat. Now, I know you can mod the things, because I saw a dude in town, like 2 months ago. He was flying on that thing. I could not believe how fast he had that thing going. Like, he had that thing. It was crazy. And I'm like, and that was actually funny, because I actually didn't know that electric bikes were a thing at the time. Like, that was my first, like, realization of, wait, they do those now? And I just saw it go flying past. I'm like, what the frick? How did he do that? And I'm like, wait a second, that's gotta be electric, right? And I looked it up, and yeah. I'm like, there's no way that dude's pedaling that fast. A minute ride to work at that speed. There are a few stores around my work that I could. Yeah, yeah. See, that's pretty good. Although you want to get like a basket or something for your bike if you're planning to buy stuff, because oh my god, uh, yeah, it's never fun trying to bike with a bag in your hand. Yeah, if I lived closer to town, I would probably take that route. Comes with a rear basket. Hey, there you go. Not sure how I feel about the rear baskets, because I feel like I would be nervous that my stuff would fall out of it. I hope it's got like a top on it or something. Because I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't trust it. Just have me pass the lockbox into the basket and hook it in somehow. Fair enough. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Well, we are definitely past the 5 minute. In fact, we're probably almost past the 10 minute as well. We'll see if we get the 10. Although, I don't think we will. What are the odds on that again? Distortions. It's so weird how the distortions, like, percents work. Because it, like, adds to your chance of it spawning each time. Legend. Let's see. Therapy. Yeah, at 10 minutes, so at the 5 minute, there's a 10% chance, okay? And 10 minutes is a 30% chance. And at 15 minutes, we have a 50% chance. And remember, this is each time. Also, reminder: if we were in the Dialga event with the sky all crazy, um, we would have a 30% chance at 5 minutes, a 40% chance at 10 minutes, a 70% chance at 15 minutes, and a guaranteed at 25 minutes. Yeah. Wait, what the frick? Guys, we missed it. It spawned. It's right here. It just popped up, I guess. We didn't miss it. It's still not. It hasn't started yet. But it's here. I literally, I just noticed it. I was standing here, and I saw lightning in the sky over here in that general direction. I had like, wait a second, wait. How did nobody notice the pop-up? So yeah, we got the 10-minute there with a 30% chance. Sweet. This is a really weird spot for one. There's like hills everywhere. Oh my god, there's like this up here. Oh, this is such a weird spot for this. Does stuff spawn up here? Yeah, I bet it can. The storm is loud. Oh boy. Probably a light show going on outside if I had to guess. No rain, but extreme lightning. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, big light show. Oh. Thank God we got a fast distortion this time. Because, yeah, we're gonna need, this guy's gonna take a while. Good lord. Okay. Yeah, I have a plan for this. We'll see how well it works. I don't think it's gonna work very well, though, with the moves that we have. It's gonna be kind of rough. Everything just goes blue every few seconds from the lightning. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, this thing's got a ways to go before it spawns. Yeah, we must have literally missed it by seconds. Missed the pop-up just by, like, seconds there. Eventually. Now we have to hope for fossils. And I will say, if we have too awful of luck with these, where we keep getting, like, the birds every time, I will ask for trades on these. I will see if we can find some, get some trades. We just need to find a heavy one to trade around, basically. Of each. Really, I should save the next heavy of each we find, just in case. Like, don't evolve them. Yeah, just to be safe on that. so we don't like have to try to struggle to guesstimate which ones is the heavy later in. Oh, this one's taking forever to spawn. Almost. Starting? Yep. Okay. Oh my god, really? I want to pick that up. Ah, what the frick? He's trying to knock me up the cliff. Okay. Alright. Okay, game. I understand. I hate you too. We need that nugget, totally. What would we ever do if we didn't have any more nuggets? Oh, goodness gracious, game. Goodness gracious. Give me the freaking deer! Oh my god, I hate this game. This game is going to drive me up a wall. Oh my god. Of course. Why not? And we also got a second bird. Are we gonna get a fossil out of this? Alright, yeah, no, screw this. Guys, I'm just gonna say it right now. But next time I find a heavy of each, we're doing trades. If we're literally averaging... That's honestly stupid, though. The odds of getting the bird should not be this high. It should be... It's supposed to be like 20% for a bird, I thought. And I thought with having two different fossils that can spawn here, how are we getting more birds than either of them? Like, oh, come on, game, really? So dumb. We should have done this during the Dialga Poke event when the Rowlet couldn't spawn and when they were all over the place. That would have made more sense. I should have done it this way. But, oh well. Let's be real, not many people are crazy enough to care enough to try to get all of these. Also, please. Oh, thank God. Heavy. Hi, Sylvie. Be heavy, please. Do I just even need heavies? Oh, okay, yes, it does. Or larges, I guess. Yeah, I didn't know there was I didn't even notice there's large and then there's heavy. I always just thought there was just the one. I didn't realize there was two different ones that are the same. Okay, so that can get a seeding cap. We'll trade it back and forth. And then we'll just trade the Rampardos I have them already evolved back and forth. So this one will be done. You can request these whenever you guys want. You just have to be willing to jump on and trade with me. Get these done, because yeah, no, I'm not going to sit here for hours on end for birds. Like we're literally pacing right now to need God. For at least 9 more. At least 9 more. But now I need to get a heavy Krangos. Another heavy, Shieldon. So we still have to keep doing these until we get a heavy, we still have to catch a heavy one of these. Again. And then, yeah, Bastardon would just trade. We'll just trade Bastardons back and forth. It'll be simple enough. I already have one of each. Annoyingly, my Bastardon is the heavy. Actually, wait, hold on. I wonder if my Shieldon right now is the heavy. I don't actually know. What's the heavy rate on... Legends, Arceus, Heavy Shieldon. No, it literally just brought up a bunch of people complaining about how annoying the fossils are. Which is very on point, let's be real. Legends, Arceus... Wait? I know Cerebi has a page that lists all this out. I don't know how to find that page. Oh, there it is. Pokemon sizes. And it should list which ones count as heavy. Oh, it doesn't count which ones count as heavy. It just shows the minimum and the, Oh, wait, no. Maybe that's it. Standard. Okay, okay, I see. There's Shieldon. Vision Discord, because my power may go out from the storm. Fair enough. Yeah, no worries. If that happens, I'll post it. Hopefully not, though. Oh, I just realized this is like listed in like Pokedex order, like national Pokedex number, and not in Legends Arceus order, which is kind of dumb. Therapy, why? Why do you do this to me? We're what, looking for Shieldon? That in the Sinnoh Dex, that's gonna be like up a... Be like, yeah, way up here. Yeah, towards the start, because you get him in Pewter. Not Pewter, in, Warbird. Okay. This... Height, weight... Oh, God, okay, 133... No, that's not heavy. That's below average. I guess. Maybe? I'm kind of confused. Wait, hold on. Therapy, are you dumb? Therapy, are you drunk? I need to check this because... Something ain't adding up here. Uh... 33... Oh, wait, maybe? Hold on, I'm confused. It's so hard to tell what this is trying to tell me. It doesn't tell me what counts as heavy and what's not. Normal, that, the... Okay, no, I think this is above average. I think. Is that this is really, really hard to, like, tell. No, this is still coming in at below average. Or no, it's above average, but not by much. I don't know if that counts as heavy. I think it just hit the ground. Yeah, well, I mean, it probably has been. Lightning tends to do that. 318. Not this one. So it's either this Shieldon, or we released it, which is honestly more likely. How many Shieldons have we caught total? Like 5, I think. So yeah, no, we probably released the heavy one, which sucks. We probably will need to find another distortion at some point, just until we get a heavy Shieldon, which would be hilarious because I guarantee you, is we're gonna have some stupid luck or something, and it's just gonna give it. We're gonna like completely finish Krangos before we find that Shieldon. Unless one of you guys check your boxes and have a heavy Shieldon by chance, then we would be all good. Cool, if you want to do that, that would be fantastic. I don't know if you happen to have any Shieldons. But, yeah. Oh, come on, game, really? Oh, we're going up here. There's a better chance it's Zorwa. And if there's not a Zorwa, there's still Rufflet and, what do you call it? Bergmite. Okay. This. I see Zorwa. But just Zorwa. We'll check the Corollia one too, as well. The Corollia's kind of neat, but we're checking Zorwa first. Hello, how's it going? Actually, yeah, about that. Yeah, we're a little more extensive than that here, typically. Just for the dedication, understandable. I appreciate that. You know, we're a little crazy here. I've always been of the opinion that I hate when people will like label something 100%, but then be like, well, actually, we're only gonna do this really hard thing, but not do the other really hard things. It's like, well, then it's not 100%, then, is it? Yes, I do wish it was just Pokedex. Oh my god. Yeah. And we'll be starting Breath of the Wild 100% next week as well. Which probably isn't quite as impressive as this. But, we're now, this is our 71st stream of this game. So, we're gonna have a little couple week break, and we'll be playing yeah, see, that's a lot of games are like that. So people, like, make up their own definitions. Also, there was no Zorwa there. Rip. But, yeah. I always tend to be like, how can you, like, to me, if it's a collectible or an item that is a one-off that you can't get more of, and, like, say in, like, Zelda, for instance, as we're talking about Breath of the Wild, Korok seeds count, because they're collectible, there's only one of each. But obviously, and all armor. To me, you need every armor set because there's only one of each. Well, most of them, and you can hold them all in your inventory. However, you don't need like one of every weapon in the game because you can't store them all. So just don't. So that doesn't count. Although I would say you definitely need to get the Hylian shield at least, and the Master Sword, obviously. Well, you definitely need the Master Sword because you need to do the trials. Oh, and we'll also, for Breath of the Wild, we'll be doing it in Master Mode as well, because I can never play Breath of the Wild without Master Mode nowadays. And one day, I will say, if you want something insane, we will be doing eventually one day Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, which is a 1,000 hour completion. It is kind of ridiculous. Ow, no! That. So Master Mode, basically what Master Mode does is it increases the HP and, damage that all enemies in the game do. It basically... Yeah, they also have... Everything has health regen, and also, there's an extra level of all enemies in the game. There's a golden tier that's only in Master Mode as well. Also, there's a couple, like, weird map changes. Like, there's, like, floating, like, platforms around the map that enemies are on with bows, and they'll snipe you. But those platforms also have extra loot on them, so you can get, like, gemstones and stuff out of chests that are only in Master Mode. It's kind of interesting. So it kind of makes the whole game feel very fresh. Anyways, I don't think we're gonna get... Oh, I can totally play without it. It's just that the game doesn't feel... Master Mode is just... The way Master Mode feels, to me, it doesn't... It just feels... It's more fun. It feels... It's not entertaining to play the normal mode now, because the Master Mode is just so good. It just feels better to play. Master Mode is the DLC, the added DLC difficulty for Breath of the Wild, which again I still to this day will say this until the end of time. The fact that Tears of the Kingdom does not have Master Mode is my biggest complaint with the entire game, and is probably the reason I will not replay Tears of the Kingdom nearly as much as I will play Breath of the Wild. Even though Tears of the Kingdom is a bigger game with more content, and as a completionist, I'm usually more attracted to the giant games that have more for me to do. I like the games I can sink literally hundreds of hours in, as you can probably tell by what we're doing right now. I haven't played any Zelda, at least not to any real degree. Played this and Pizza Tower. I've never played Pizza Tower. I've heard it's kind of like WarioWare, I guess, or not WarioWare, Wario Land, I think. It's kind of what what it sounded like, the way it plays. It's definitely on the to-do list of games, but I'm a collector as well, so my backlog is very large. So I never make promises on games, because if I say I'm going to play something, it just means I'm going to play it eventually, and that eventually might be 6 years down the line. Yeah, it released yesterday with the Direct. Yeah, they shadow dropped it. That was kind of neat. Alright, well... There's nothing else here we care for, is there? I don't think there is. Yeah, no, nothing. Alright, well, back to Obama Snow now. Oh, we actually had, like... Wait, did we do any tasks for Corlia? I don't know if Corlia had any catch tasks. Probably did, like, without being seen or something, and I totally didn't do it. Yeah, whatever. I should have checked that before we went to that one, but it's not a big deal. Alright. So the plan for Abomasnow is simple but painful. Every single move task we use, we're just gonna do the standard moves and not worry about strong. Like, look at these. They're 5 each. We're just gonna do this. And we're gonna use the strongs along with them. It's gonna suck. Because that's gonna do so much in recoil. And it's gonna take forever to get through these because we're only gonna do 3 each cycle. But it is going to be the best way about this. Also, I completely missed that Bidoof. I mean, if you say anything other than Rivali's Gale as your favorite ability, then you're crazy. Because as a completionist, Rivali's Gale is a lifesaver. Now, if I were to say favorite champion, I'd probably say Mipha. But, just because I like the whole Zora's story in that game. Very tragic, very neat. Oh crap, I missed. Oh, whatever, it's fine. But as far as practicality goes, oh my god, Rivali's Gale is, no question, the best ability in the game. With all luck, you shouldn't even be using like Mipha's Grace very much. Although I will say Urbosa's Fury is very solid as well, because you can nuke mini bosses with it in 2 hits. Especially once you upgrade it, yeah, you can just sit there. You can walk up to like a Talus and just do a spin twice, and Urbosa's Fury will 2-shot it, and you won't even have to touch it. It's hilarious. Oh yeah, no, I've done all Shrines of Breath of the Wild twice. So, yeah. Yeah, the island is really not that bad. Yeah, the High Noxie's 2-shot, but yeah, Urbosa's Fury kind of trivializes that entire section of the game. But it's very entertaining. Hey, no worries, I understand. Your favorite Pokemon in the game might be Hizui and Lilligant. Well, Shinx is my third favorite Pokemon of all time. Probably, we'll go second. I was gonna say behind the 2 Vulpix, but we'll put the Vulpix together, because that's kind of cheating. If you put number 1 and 2, they're the same Pokemon. They're technically the same. I'm just gonna count them together. So, Shinx is my number 2 of all time. So that would technically count. I mean, the Vulpix is in this game too, so there's Vulpix as well. But if we're counting just as far as Legends, like, exclusive Pokemon go, like, that are introduced in this game, the Hizui and Zorua line. I like Zorua and Zorua for this game. They're very good. As you'll learn. we have been struggling to find a shiny one here for so long. I think the funniest thing, I can't remember it, but I know for a fact that at some point, when they, remember how all the crappy, like, weird, like, reveals they did for, like, Sword and Shield, that kind of led into Legends Arceus? Like, the 24-hour stream just to reveal Galarian Ponyta? That was the most bullcrap thing I've ever seen, because you did not have to watch any of that except for the last 3 minutes. The entire 24 hours, and only the last 2.5 minutes probably actually did anything you would care about. Every hour, one thing would happen. I remember people are joking with, what's his name? Joe, I think his name? Is his name? The guy who runs Cerebi. Because he had to stay up through that whole 24-hour stream just for a slight mention every hour. Yeah, Joe Merrick, that's right. It was so funny. Poor guy. Some people have been joking with him lately that they're gonna do another 24-hour stream for Legends DA, and he's gonna have to sit up through it. And he's just like, I will actually quit. You will not have Cerebi anymore. But, the reason I bring it up is because in Legends Arceus, they had that whole, like, that video clip thing where that guy was, like, in the middle of the snowy wilderness, And he, like, you saw a hint of Hisuian Zorua in the background, I think. Like, they kind of, like, hinted at it before the reveal, like, the next day. Where they, like, unveiled the rest of the footage, where it was, like, all blurry, you couldn't see it. And people were, like, trying to draw the thing. They were trying to guess what it looked like. And somebody got almost exactly on Hisuian Zorua. I could, like, looking back on it, like, after the reveal, I looked through them, and then they revealed it, and I'm like, wait a second. And I look back, and I look at this thing. They had that Zorua, the right color scheme, obviously, because the color scheme is all you could see. Honestly, you could barely even tell that it was a Zorua. The Zorua, people weren't even completely sure that it was a Zorua. But, yeah. But, yeah, I remember that, or maybe it was, hold on, I need to look at these trailers, because I don't even know, I could be wrong on this, it might have been before, they made a full-on, like, predicted it. Because I don't even know if we had seen the trailer yet, because I don't know if we, hold on. Hisuian Zorua trailer, Legends, Arceus. Mysterious footage restored, I want the one before that. Because there was, like, that weird blurry one. I want to see what that looked like. Legends, Arceus, mysterious footage. There it is. Rare footage of in Hisui region discovered. We had, like, the text. And you couldn't see anything here. Is it a Growlithe, they mentioned? Not a Vulpix, no, not that either. The tip of its tail is red and swaying. I think it's turning this way. You can just barely see its outline. Wow, yeah, you can't see crap here. Yeah. Yeah, and then I remember somebody actually drew that thing perfectly. I don't know, maybe they did some weird, like, video splicing and, like, did some color shenanigans to make it pop up, like, better so they could see it slightly better. But, like, they had that design almost perfect. There was only, like, small minor things, like its scarf was slightly wrong. It was mostly correct, though. Like, they had it more fluffier, like a standard Zorua on the scarf, I believe. Rather than how it's kind of like a single, like more of a, like it's more of a scarf. They had it more like how it looked like an Eevee one basically, but it had the colors right and everything. But yeah, I could not believe that. Also, I'm still mad about both the Litten line and the Finnegan line. To this day, I would die on that hill. I hate them. Okay, I don't despise them. I like Torracat, and Braixen's grown on me. It's all right. Its inclusion in Hoken made it a little more likable, believable personality. But I don't like Delphox, and I despise Incineroar design-wise. I wish Torracat had evolved into like a lion with like a mane, like a fire mane. That would have made a lot more sense to me. Yeah. And then, Finnegan, I think, they really just need to learn to keep their freaking Pokemon on 4 legs. Like, goddamn. Stop making them humanoid. Please. You guys want to know the last time? Before Skeledirge, you guys want to know the last time we had a final evolved starter on 4 legs? Or no. Hold on. I'm trying to think, because we had Samurott, technically, Hisuian Samurott. Yeah. Yeah, like Gen 9 games, like, yeah, they kind of, yikes. Yeah, we were kind of talking about the other day. About how I somehow have 180 hours in that game, and I genuinely don't know how I did it, because I can't bring myself back to play it more than, like, 5 minutes at a time for, like, download events and stuff. I hate the raid system. I think the raids in Scarlet and Violet are genuinely awful, and they've never been fixed. They don't work. They lag. They literally do not even function. Like it is. They are genuinely just a horrible experience all around. And they are literally the only post-game content in the entire game. And that's retarded. Like, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't say that word, but I genuinely just, it's so, oh my god. It's so bad. Like, how did we go from, this is my main question with the Pokemon series lately. How did we go from Black and White 2? How did we go from Black and White 2 having the post game that game had with the Pokestar Studios, the World Tournament, the musicals, what else was it? the whole bottom half of the region, all the legendaries. There was like so many legendary events that actually were like mini storyline like legend events. Like we had to kind of figure out the puzzles and stuff. And there's just so much. And then you get to, and then we went from that game into X and Y. The post game for X and Y is a Mewtwo, a legendary bird, and the Battle Chateau, and the Friend Safari, because it's in that town, same town. That's it. Oh wait, no, there is the Looker Quest. I'll give it that. It has the hour-long Looker Quest that is honestly, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I played that Looker Quest once. I remember nothing about it. It wasn't all that good. It's very forgettable. I know some people are very fond of it. And it has a couple decent moments, but eh. And then after XY, we had ORAS, which was decent. I will say ORAS had okay post-game. It wasn't the best. But, yeah. Yeah, ORAS had, what did all the ORAS have? ORAS had all the legendaries and the Battle Resort. So, honestly, about the same as XY, but there was more legendaries. And, honestly, ORAS started the trend that we now hate of them just handing out legendaries on a silver platter. But at least in ORAS, there was puzzles for each one, and they still kind of were neat to track them all down. Plus, it was the first time they did them, so I'll give them a pass. So, because at the time, it was, like, I remember when, like, they had the Koro Koro magazines every week, and every time we got, like, the scan that 1 month, where they showed, like, oh, the legendaries are back, and they had, like, a picture of the Hoopa Ring, and there was, like, Dialga, and Reshiram, and, like, and I think Ho-Oh were all on, like, the page. And I remember I was so excited. I'm like, that is the coolest thing ever. We get to catch, like, all the legendaries. And I remember being like, it's gonna be Black and White 2, but even crazier. But really, it wasn't. The Black and White 2 legendary quests were better. Let's be real, they were significantly better. But at least they were still kind of fun. Plus, there was a Spiritomb as well, which kind of counts as a legendary, I guess, in terms of like the way you find it. Not legendary, but it's got that same kind of feel where you have to kind of go through pain in the butt kind of tasks to find it. And yeah, there was the Spiritomb in that game as well. You could find. There was a couple post-game things in Mauville, like really small things that were just like taken from X and Y. Yeah, the Hoopa movie was a little weird. I'll be honest, I didn't like the Hoopa movie. Honestly, all the movies from like Gen 5 onwards were kind of mediocre at best. I think the best from the Gen 5 and 6 movies, the only good one that the only one that I would consider like actually kind of okay is the Keldeo movie. I like the Keldeo movie. It was all right. I think the Reshiram and Zekrom movie is probably the worst movie in the entire franchise. I think it's completely dumb. It doesn't even make any sense. The whole plotline is stupid. The fact that there's two movies was just a weird way to handle it. It was all wrong. It's kind of weird, dumb, made no sense. And it was so messed up, in fact, that of every Pokemon movie, you guys want to know this? Fun fact? They have managed to work almost every Pokemon movie into the canon in one way or another through very, very small, minor references. Like, for example, Pokemon Heroes having... Well, now it's very obviously in the canon because they had that episode at the end of Journeys that just flat out showed the movie Latios and the town they were in. But before this, like, during the Sinnoh League, when Ash fought Tobias and he saw his Latios, he recognized it before and Dawn was the one who had to pull out her Pokedex, not him. He specifically said, he was, like, surprised and said, Latios, or something like that. And he knew what it was. So it's something like that that gives the movies mention of canon without them actually bringing up the events. Victini and the Victini movies are one of the only ones where they just said, screw it, it's not canon. And it is straight up confirmed non-canon, because it was that much of a disaster. Like, they didn't even go and say, alright, well, one of them is canon. No, they just straight up said, no, screw it. Just scrub it. It never happened. So it's just another mess to how Black and White's anime was just so weird. Well, technically canon to what is the question you're asking, because, honestly, Detective Pikachu is weird, because it's, like, supposed to be, like, an IRL world, but it's not an IRL world. I think it's supposed to be, like, Kanto? I think? It's hard to tell, because in his room, there's, like, actual, like, battle, there's battle posters in his room that mention Cynthia and a couple other champions, which imply they exist in the world. So it's kind of a weird one. No. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stop you there. I like every anime opening up to the end of Black and White. Starting in XY, they were all kind of bad. And at that point, the Japanese ones took over, and all the Japanese themes were just all significantly better. Like, the XYZ theme, garbage. But the XYZ theme in Japan, oh, top tier. Peak. And then the Journeys theme is garbage here. We had, like, this weirdly weird, like, country style, like, kind of just bad, didn't even sound good. Like, it literally, they went from trying to sound cool like they did in the 90s, where we had, like, that cool edge to all the stuff in the 90s. That lasted all the way up through Diamond and Pearl. It kind of changed at the end of Diamond and Pearl. Like, the second half of Diamond and Pearl was when the shift started to happen. Yeah, the English Journey theme is so awful. But the Japanese Journey theme, the 1, 2, 3, oh my god, that song is, I love that song. I had that in my playlist for a while when it first came out. The XYZ English theme is bad to me because it's way too short. It's like 20 seconds long. Like, we didn't even get like a full 30-second loop. Like, it's a tiny opening. They didn't even give us like the standard length opening. Oh yeah, exactly. I don't really remember the Alola openings as much because most of the time when I was trying to find those episodes, the openings were cut out to try to fend off the copyright before they got nuked off the internet. And they only lasted like 2 days each. I can't even find what is it called? Horizons anymore. I kind of fell behind because it was a struggle to find the episodes. I do know where to find them. I won't say where to find them now because I don't want to risk them getting taken down now and me losing my one access to watching those in Japanese in good quality. But actually, I don't even, hold on. I gotta check something. I don't even think. Does I have them? The one we've been using for our anime streams we do on the weekends. Horizons. They do have Horizons on here. I don't know if they have all the episodes or if it's just the English ones. Yeah, they just have the English ones. I think there's 40 episodes. I think that's just the Netflix ones, right? Like the current streak of Netflix ones. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just the current ones that are out in English. They don't have the Japanese ones on here. Surprisingly, which is surprising because they do have Japanese episodes for ones that are Japanese exclusive, so I figured they would put those up too. Dude, when I was a kid, I knew all the lyrics to like every one of those, like even the full versions of the ones that had full versions, because I would just like watch all the films. I still like know most of the lyrics to the opening, to like the original opening, and most of the Johto ones. But yeah, it's sad that starting in Diamond and Pearl, we kind of started losing the openings. Why did I get strong? Like starting in Diamond and Pearl, we started getting like half openings. Actually, no, it started in Hoenn, because we didn't get a full opening to. God, did we get a full opening to any of them? I remember, what is it called? Pokemon, I never actually watched the Hoenn anime. I'm gonna be honest, that's the only one I've never seen. I've seen every episode of the anime through Kanto, Johto, Sinnoh, Unova, even Unova, unfortunately, because that was when I was a kid growing up, with Sinnoh and Unova. But my favorite opening, guys, when I was a kid, you need to understand, I was the kid who would fixate on a single movie and watch it like at least once a day for over 3 months straight. And with me, that was the Latios and Latios movie. I watched it so many times. So it's 100% the which one was that? Was that Johto League Champions, or was that Johto? One of the last two things, whichever one that was that played in that movie. But I honestly love both of the Johto themes full versions. I love how brutal Giga Impact is in this game, by the way. It's freaking crazy. I know we mentioned it last time I had used Giga Impacts, but it's kind of hilarious, like, how brutal. Like, there's like a beam of light to the sky. Like, we literally evaporated this beautiful soul. Battle Cry Stand Up. That's the, is that the Japanese or the English one? I know which one that is. That's Diamond and Pearl, Battle Dimension, correct? I think that's the English version. I would say underrated movie, that's probably not that great, but I love it anyways, is the Zoroa movie in Sinnoh. It's the least talked about one in that arc, because it's not part of the trilogy, because like the first 3 movies were connected, and then we had the Zoroa movie, which was more of just the typical tie-in to the Next Generation movie. Was that Galactic Battles? Oh yeah, it was. Oh man, how did I mess it up? Yeah, because the Battle Dimension was the Darkrai movie. Yeah, and Stand Up was the one for the Arceus movie. And then I don't think Sinnoh League Victors actually had a full theme. I don't think. I think it was the one. It was the only one in Sinnoh to get. No, because the first theme didn't. Okay, so that's the funny thing. I don't think the first theme even had one. Yeah, because the Darkrai movie was the first one, so season 1 of the Sinnoh anime didn't even have a movie. Because typically every set of 50 episodes had a movie, so we had like an episode a year, a movie a year. Usually like right in the wintertime, the end of the year, we had a movie every year. And they never did one for Diamond and Pearl for some reason. The first one we got was the Diamond and Pearl was the Dialga Poke movie at the end of Battle Dimension. Which actually, okay, I got such a funny story about this, by the way. So when I was a kid, I was like, I remember the way I got into Pokemon was the anime. When I was like 4 or 5 or something, one of my cousins came over to my house. He's about my age, and he turned on the TV and turned on Boomerang, which was airing the first season of the anime. So I technically joined with Gen 1, despite the fact that it was Gen 3 at the time. But what happened eventually? I started I liked it so much I started watching it on my own, and I remember eventually I started watching Diamond and Pearl because it was like when I found out that, oh, this is the new one. Because I remember watching it right as Diamond and Pearl started. Like I watched the first episodes of it because I never saw the last episodes of I never saw the last episodes of Battle Frontier, which would have been right before it. But it was. I remember. I don't actually remember how I found it was on Cartoon Network, but I remember watching it on Cartoon Network, and I honestly don't know how I caught it on the very first episode of Diamond and Pearl because I never watched any Battle Frontier, like I said. And I think Battle Frontier was also on Cartoon Network back then. So it's kind of odd. I don't actually know how. I don't know if it was pure chance or if I saw a commercial sometime back then. It's so long ago, I can't remember. But basically, that was my first time watching the entire show, an entire season of the show, start to finish. So when they swapped to Diamond and Pearl Battle Dimension, I saw on the air date that there was an episode labeled Diamond and Pearl Battle Dimension, and I genuinely had an argument with my dad at the time, trying to say that it was a 20-minute movie, because as a 6-year-old kid, I just assumed that it had a different name, so it was a movie, and he was just sitting there trying to so annoyed. He's just like, movies aren't 20 minutes. Movies aren't. I'm like, well, it's got a different name. And then it ended up being it was the episode with Luxray. It was the episode with Luxray in that mansion in Sinnoh where they had to it was a booby trap mansion, and this Luxray had the X-ray vision, and they went through this mansion. So I remember seeing it, I'm like, wow, that was, and I remember it ended, and I'm like, wow, that was an underwhelming movie. And I seriously thought that for 4 weeks before I finally caught on to the fact that, oh wait, this is actually just the next season. Oh my god. Even after watching it the first time, I still was like, that was a weird movie. I actually haven't seen most of the Sinnoh episodes since then. So, maybe eventually we'll get to them. I don't know how long that'll take. But through our weekly anime streams, but 5 episodes a week, it might be a while. What episode were we on last week? I totally slipped my mind this last week, so we totally forgot. But we were on, episode... Yeah, Sinnoh was good. I did like it. Oh, I'm doing good, Random. How are you? We're on episode 49. Will be the one we start on this weekend. Yeah, we did the Attack of the Prehistoric Pokemon. Was the last episode we watched last time. So we're over halfway from season 1 of our years-long rewatch of this show, I'm sure. It'll take, what? It took 20... We're, we're 27 years or something into the Pokemon series. So, at this rate, we're doing 5 episodes a week, as opposed to the 1 episode a week that airs, typically. Yikes. About 4.5 years. About how long this will take if we didn't miss any weeks. And we've already been missing weeks significantly, very, very often. I think, canonically, Orange Islands are technically labeled as part of Kanto. I believe. They're kind of like one of those weird spots. Like, I think. Check some stuff here. I want to just make sure I'm correct on this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is technically part of Kanto. Okay, to be fair, Kanto does have a bunch of themes. Kanto has, like, the jukebox at the end of the episodes. So we had, like, the Poke Rap, and we had, like, a bunch of, like, kind of, like, theme songs. Like, we had the Team Rocket theme. We had, like, To Be a Master. We had What Kind of Pokemon Are You? Oh, what else was there? There was a couple others. They were all really good. But yeah, opening theme-wise, yeah, we only had the one. But to be fair, like, okay, people might not realize this, but, like, the Orange Islands only existed to give them more time to develop the Johto games. Like, they didn't think they were going to have Johto originally. Like, I don't know if Johto was originally planned, and I know after Johto, they 100%, I know Ruby and Sapphire were not ever expected. I know they were planning to end on Johto. Like, fun fact you guys might not know, I found this out only recently, but Ho-Oh in episode 1 was very much not like a hit towards Gen 2. Gen 2 didn't even start development at that point. Ho was designed exclusively for that episode to be like this mythical Pokemon that Ash sees that no one knows about, because it's not like, it was supposed to be like a whole thing like, oh, there's Pokemon out there that nobody knows. And Ho was never intended to be a Pokemon in the actual games. Never. And you know what the fun part is? Neither was Lugia. Lugia was designed by one of the writers for the second movie. Yeah, one of the people who worked on the second movie actually drew and designed Lugia specifically for the movie. But then at that time, the Johto games were in development, okay? Yeah, they had started work. They had started work on Johto at the point of the Lugia movie being made, and he showed the Lugia design to the game designers, because they were pretty closely tied into the movie at that time, and they liked it so much that they said they put it in the game, and Ho-Oh ended up being the other box legendary. So that's kind of why, to this day, if you ever kind of look at all the games, how all the, like, the box short legendaries are kind of like counterparts. If you ever, like, kind of noticed on, like, the Gen 2 games how Ho and Lugia kind of, they look like kind of weird counterparts? It's because they were never designed to be counterparts at all. That was kind of like they kind of like forced it into the story to make them work with designs that had already been pre-existing before the game story had been finalized. They were not designed for Johto's story, like the more recent, like every legendary afterwards has been designed to fit into their story of the region. They kind of just got pushed in. Infernape, alright. Add it to the list, cool. Yeah, opening themes. There's one answer to Kanto. Yeah. Who likes that Vanilla Ice wannabe? But yeah, I wanted to mention, I don't think a lot of people realize, though, with how the Orange Islands was like a transitional phase. Yeah, the Orange Island was only 36 episodes long. It was less than half the length of the first season, and isn't even the length of a single full season of the modern anime. How we have, like, about 50 episodes a season now. Yeah, that wasn't a thing. Back then. They were typically They were just kind of however long it took. That's why Kanto was a kind of a weird number of episodes. They just kind of went until it was done. And that ended up being... How long is Gen 1? I think it's like 86, I want to say? 82. Yeah. Gen 1's anime is 82 episodes long. And then the Orange Islands is 36. And then I think Johto is when it started doing the 50 episodes. Hold on, let me check that too. Yeah, I've literally got every episode pulled up right here. Yeah, Johto Journeys. Kinda. Well, cool. This is a very big spoiler. So, to anyone who hasn't watched Journeys, mute your mic. But, he does come back for his Pidgeot. In the second to last episode of the series, before he retires. He does go back to get his Pidgeot right at the end. The writers finally decided to let that Pidgeot come back. And it's never seen again. It kind of, because the last episode, he doesn't really do any battling. It's more like a reflection episode where he kind of like reflects on his journey and what he wants to do next. And yeah, the Butterfree cameo was there too. But yeah, no, he full on comes back and reclaims his Pidgeot at the end. Honestly, I kind of wish I think the last episode is nice, but it's kind of underwhelming. There was like a lot of rumors that Ash was going to get a legendary in the final episode. And coming off the Latios, where they had like teased that he was going to catch that Latios for like 6 to 7 episodes straight. And then it just leaves. It's like, really? Really? But the rumor was he was either going to catch Latios or he was going to battle Ho-Oh in the final episode and catch it. He was going to have like a full-on battle. The final episode was going to be... The final, yeah, the final episode would have been that. And so everyone was kind of like expecting it to be that. Everyone was like really, really hoping that Ho-Oh was like Ho-Oh did re-show up in the final episode. I will say, like we did see Ho-Oh one last time in the final episode. He did see it again at the very end of that episode. But yeah, he did not battle it, which was the rumor mill for a while. Was that he was going to catch Latios, and he was going to battle Ho-Oh at the end, and come like full circle on that. And, like, prove how strong he is, kind of thing. And neither happened. We had, like, it was a nice episode. I mean, it was kind of weird, honestly, because, like, Gary kind of comes up and just goes, huh, and basically says, so you're the strongest. What are you gonna do now? He's like, I'm gonna be a Pokemon Master. And he's like, well, you're the strongest trainer in the world. Doesn't that make you a Pokemon Master now? What do you consider being a Pokemon Master? And literally the whole episode is just him kind of, like, laying in the grass and, like, reflecting. And just, like, deciding what being a Pokemon Master means to him. Which, at the end, just leads to him saying, I'm going to keep traveling and meeting more Pokemon. And then he walks off into the sunset. By himself, by the way. He has a solo journey, which is kind of nice. He goes on a solo journey at the end. Which, I mean, let's be real, knowing him lasts about 20 minutes, and he probably found someone else and journeyed with them for a year. Literally seconds afterwards. But, you know... I do have fat fingers, though, I will say. I made so many typos. What happened to Ash's Primeape? I don't think his Primeape ever showed up. I don't think it ever showed up in Journeys. I mean, it had a cameo. It was in the whole, like, during the final Ash versus Leon fight, where Pikachu was, like, having, like, that weird, like, vision, where we saw Butterfree, we also saw Primeape there. I'm pretty sure. Because we saw, like, all of his Pokemon. They even had freaking Larvitar in there. I couldn't believe that. So that was, like, canon. That canon. People were kind of unsure if he actually technically caught Larvitar, or if it was wild the whole time. But that was confirmation that he did, in fact, catch that Larvitar. Because the writers consider it his Pokemon. But yeah, we saw Primeape there as well. Yeah, see, that's kind of the thing I think is dumb. I feel like, yeah, it needed to be a lot more. There was a lot of things that need closure. That is my main issue with those final 12 episodes, is that should not have been a 12-episode season. It should have been a 50-episode season. It was kind of just like a mini, like, special, like, closure end of thing, like, outside of Journeys. Because, like, Journeys was over, and they needed to get ready for the... Like, obviously, they couldn't do a full 50 season, because they needed to go into Horizons, like, literally go a week after that last episode. But it was still kind of like, eh, you know? Especially because, okay, my main complaint with those final 12 episodes is that 9 of them are filler. Like, why did you do that? Why would you do this whole crazy thing, like, oh my god, all his Pokemon are back, we're gonna have, like, this cool showcase where he goes back and he travels with Brock and Misty again, and he goes around to all these regions, and he gets some closure on all these different things. But then, most of the episodes are just generic filler. Like, it doesn't actually do anything. We had the closure with Pidgeot. We had the thing with the Latios, which was neat because it did full on like cameo the Ultimar, but like what in the world? Like, did we really need? Like, we had the Squirtle Squad episode as well. That was that, which was kind of neat. But honestly, that episode I'm gonna be honest, the Squirtle Squad episode kind of felt fillery. It didn't feel like closure on the Squirtle Squad. It felt like a generic filler episode that just happened to include them. I will say I also wish that they were more willing to jump into two-parters throughout Journeys. I feel like throughout Journeys, a lot of the big battles were very rushed. Like, a lot of the battles were like forced into a single episode, and usually only half of an episode, because like they like spent the first half of the episode setting up the battle, and then they like forced it into the second half. And they were like so like weirdly opposed to doing two-part battles. Like, we had like throughout the Sinnoh League, we had multiple. Like, Paul, the Ash versus Paul fight was literally, God, it was 3 parts. So it was, but I mean, and I feel like they did eventually. Like, the Ash versus Steven was 1 episode, which was stupid. But Ash versus Cynthia was 2 parts because it was 6 on 6. Honestly, Ash versus Cynthia should have been 3 episodes, though. I feel like some parts of that fight were still rushed. And I think Ash versus Leon was 3 episodes, I want to say. But I think the first half of the first episode was set up for the fight. Yeah, see, that's my main issue with Journeys, is it overcompensated on the fan service in exchange for a good story and good battles. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna deny that I really liked the fan service. I loved when they went through the final arc, and he was in the World Championships. And I loved how, like, whenever the champion introduced themselves, it, like, panned to, like, all of the past rivals, like, watching the TV. And we had, like, really, really obscure cameos in there. Some weren't so obscure, like, Richie was there when Lance was showing up. We saw Richie. We saw... Who else was in there? There was a few. We saw Tracy there. We saw a few. But, like, stuff like Hoenn and Sinnoh, we saw, like, May and Dawn's contest rivals and stuff were there. They cameoed them, too. Yeah, they put the entire budget of the Journeys anime into that Pikachu versus Charizard showdown. Like, before that theme kicked in. Well, and after, too. Because that last attack was crazy. Like, it was hilarious. Like, you could physically see the animation style, like, deepen as soon as Pikachu and Charizard started fighting. Like, everything got significantly more detailed, and everything was very fluid. I was very impressed. But it also did kind of make the rest of the fight seem kind of lame in comparison. I'm gonna be honest. That's one of my other main issues with Journeys, is the big battles felt way too easy. I'm gonna be honest. Ash should not have beaten Cynthia. He should not have even come close to beating Leon. He should have got swept by Steven. I'm sorry. And it's not that I don't think he could beat them. My other main issue with Journeys is, okay, I love that he caught new Pokemon, and I love that they went back and, like, crossed off Pokemon that they really wanted to see Ash have, like the Lucario. Everyone was like, give Ash a Lucario, they gave him a Lucario. Give Ash a Dragonite, they gave him a Dragonite. You know? But I hate the fact that he spent the exact same amount of time that it took him to fight a league and lose to train up a brand new, fresh team and beat this world champion who had never been beaten in his entire life. I think that's the stupidest way to do that. They should have done what they did with those last 12 episodes. Ash should have rotated his entire team from all of the other seasons. The entire series. All of Journeys. It should have been all of them. He should have had, like, he could have still had Lucario, he still could have had all his new Pokemon, but he should have rotated in his old Pokemon. And what should have happened is that those final battles in the World Coronation, they would have felt so much better if Ash was using Pokemon from his old teams to fight the respective champions. So, like, imagine he fought Cynthia with a good chunk of his Sinnoh team. Maybe not all of his Sinnoh team. I don't think he would have brought Gibble to that fight. I'm sorry, Gibble. But, like, he could have still brought his Mega Lucario in place of Gibble. But kept a good chunk of his Sinnoh team intact. That would have been cool. It would have gave that fight a lot more nostalgia. It would have made it a lot more cool. And it would have been a little more impressive that he won. It would have been more believable. Because that team is older. That team is trained more, you know. And the Ash versus Leon fight, I'm sorry. The team he used should not have beat that. He should have, yeah, what you just said. He should have used his ace from each season. That should have been his final team. He should have brought in Charizard, Infernape, Sceptile. He should have brought in, I don't know about anything from, I don't think there's really anything from Johto or anything from Unova. I'm sorry, Crocodile. I know you're great, but I don't think you belonged on that team. He should have brought in his Greninja. His Greninja should have come back. No, Torkoal sucks. Torkoal is probably the worst one he could have brought when he... I still cannot believe he brought Torkoal and Bayleaf to fight a Darkrai. Unironically. Yeah, Crocodile was his Unova ace, but I don't think it's not that strong compared to his others. So it probably would have been Charizard, Infernape, Sceptile, Greninja. It should have come back fully. It shouldn't have just... I did like the fact that it cameoed a few times, but I didn't like the way it was done. But yeah, it would have been Charizard, Infernape, Sceptile, Greninja, maybe Lycanroc. I probably would... I mean, he could have brought his Naganadel, or maybe even his Solgaleo, because we also know that he canonically caught Nebby. So yes, he does have a Solgaleo on his team, technically. Pikachu, obviously, so let's go with... and then Lucario. So, Lucario would be his ace for Journeys, and it was really strong. It was a Mega. It made sense to be on that final team. It should have been Lucario should have been the only Pokemon from his Journeys team on that final team. So... let me think. So, okay. Pikachu, Charizard, Infernape, Sceptile, Lucario, and that leaves one more. Pikachu, Charizard, Sceptile, Greninja, Lucario. I want to say Lycanroc. I will say, I would say Incineroar, but it wasn't his ace. Incineroar is the stupidest one of his. I'm sorry. I love Litten's storyline in the anime because it was very like tragic and like, I kind of dark with it. I was impressed because they had like the whole Stoutland dying thing, where they didn't even like sugarcoat it. They just full on said he died, like he's dead, and they like had like an episode addressing the fact that it died, and Ash was like helping the Litten with the grief. Like that was impressive. And a lot of people crap on Sun and Moon for the art style, but it was great. The story of Sun and Moon was probably one of the best in the anime. All the characters were actually like really good. And yes, I like Litten and I like Torracat through the anime. The reason I will never count Incineroar as his best Pokemon in that set is because he never used it. He never once fought a single battle with Incineroar. It literally evolved and then fainted while standing up right after evolving in the final battle he ever performed in Alola, and then he immediately bossed it and never battled with it after evolving. We literally never saw it battle a single time as an Incineroar. It felt so rushed and honestly really stupid. I'm gonna be honest. Like, they kind of ruined its arc at the end. It was so good up to that point. And it played off to me as they got to the end and had an, oh shit, we forgot to evolve Torracat moment. And they just forced it in because they didn't have anything left. They're like, we'll just make him evolve and faint. Make it be like some cool, like, oh, he won the fight and now he's evolved and he's earned it. It's like, no. No, that doesn't work. I will say a lot of people didn't like how Lusamine was handled in the anime, how she wasn't crazy, and how it was like a more typical thing, where she's actually a loving mother, she's just overbearing. And yes, she was definitely better in the games, I would not deny that at all, but I did not mind her so much in the anime, because they still managed to make Lily and Gladian's art make sense. They still made it work, and I'm impressed. And I can understand why they changed Lusamine for the anime, because Lusamine may have single-handedly raised the age rating of the anime. Like, she was batshit crazy in the games. Like, there was like a fairy tale about a Pikachu and a Slowpoke and like one of the Pokemon that were like these adventuring buddies and all this stuff, and all these children loved it. And you walk into Lusamine's office, and there's a Pikachu and a Slowpoke, and they're frozen in ice. She's just full on put them in stasis and kidnapped them. Like, she is like, there was some crazy stuff in there. And they still managed to put in the crazy jellyfish Lusamine at the end. Where she gets kidnapped by a whatever it's called, the Heligo. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I got changed, but I understand. Also, I will say, one of the good things we got closure on in Journeys was we got to see Lily and Gladian's arc several times throughout Journeys. And we even got to see it end. That was really cool. We got to see their search for their father. Every time when a Alolan episode came up, and Ash went back to the school to visit his Alolan crew, they wrote a letter to Lily, and you saw her on like a train, like going through and searching with the Magearna and Gladian. And then we did eventually see Ash help them find their father in the end, and that was cool. That was probably one of my favorite arcs in Journeys, because it felt like proper closure. I will say, I wish there was more to the finale of the arc. I wish they spent more time worth building up to her father coming back. Like, yes, they built up finding him a lot, but once they found him, there wasn't much that actually happened. They basically reminded him almost instantly. Like, they solved his memory loss very quickly, and it was, like, solved in, like, 15 minutes. And that part, I kind of, like, I kind of wish that they found him, but he... Yeah, they just found him in a shack in the Crown Tundra. And he had, like, a shiny Nihilego with him that he had named Lily, because he had, like, some distant, like, memories. It was, like, the Nihilego that had kidnapped him, and that's why he became a follower and lost his memory. And since Nihilego looks like how Lily dresses, which, again, is kind of a weird part of the anime, because since they changed Lucimine's arc, the way Lily dresses and the way Lucimine dresses don't make sense anymore, because contextually in the games, they dress that way because of Lucimine's obsession with Ultra Beasts, and how Lucimine was, like, controlling Lily's life, basically. And that's why she dressed like that, because she was dressing specifically to look like the Ultra Beast that her mother was obsessed with. But she's not obsessed with Ultra Beasts in the anime, so that never makes sense. But, what else was there? I'm trying to think, but yeah, basically, I think what happened was they basically find him in the shack, and he doesn't remember for a bit. But, like, then the Nihilego starts playing, like, some tune on, like, a piano or something, I think, and, like, eventually this reminds him. Like, he just randomly, at the end, remembers his family. And they go back to Alola, and they adopt the Nihilego into their family. They're both named Lily, too. They don't change his name either. They still give the Nihilego the nickname Lily. Which I do think is kind of adorable that they let the Nihilego stay. But, yeah, it was kind of... the ending of it felt a little rushed. But I liked everything else about it. I also did like... It wasn't really closure, I don't want to say. But they had, when Paul finally returned, because they kind of went through into, like, all the cameos throughout the season. When we had Paul's episode and they battled each other on the Oak Ranch, it didn't really feel like that much of closure, because Paul still kind of acted like a jerk for a good chunk of that episode. Although he did wish Ash luck in the end. Once we got into the World Championships, we see Ash have, like, a realization. Paul battled him with a Metagross, a Garchomp, and one other Pokemon. I can't remember what it was. I think a Dragonite. And Ash realized in the during the Steven fight that Paul had been battling him with the aces of 3 of the champions. Specifically those 3 to help give him practice against those Pokemon when he had to fight them in the World Championships. So that was kind of neat. It was like a very subtle thing, where you didn't even realize it in the original episode. And that did make that final episode with Paul a lot better. Because it did kind of... It showed that he cared without actually making him have, like, some really stupid, like, oh, I'm goody two-shoes now. Like, he still went and was like a jerk throughout the whole episode. But at the end... But yeah, in the end, yeah, he kind of showed his respect in a better way, which I did like it. They worked him in well. I wish he showed up earlier in the series so they could have, like, a proper rematch fight. But yeah. We never did see Tobias again, which I understand that, like, everyone knows that he only existed as a stopgap to prevent Ash from winning the league. Because, like, they obviously needed him to beat Paul to finish his arc, but after Paul, there was nobody stronger than Paul in the league, like, that had been introduced throughout the series. So, there was nobody for him to lose to. Which, yeah, usually they just throw somebody in. Like, they threw in Tyson with the Meowth and Hoenn. And they threw in, what's his name? Whatever the guy's name was in Johto with the Hoenn team. Those work better. I mean, I don't know about the Tyson thing. I honestly, hearing about the Meowth kind of makes it sound stupid, but I've never watched the episode, so I don't actually have much opinion on that. But I know in Johto it worked well, because Ash still put up a really good fight. But he lost because he didn't understand how to fight the Pokemon he was fighting. He'd never seen anything on that team before, and he still almost won. That was kind of neat. He still almost came down to the end, and he lost to the Blaziken at the end. Like, it makes sense that he was going to struggle against a Kecleon that was, like, invisible and all that crap, and he had no idea how to fight it. He'd never seen one before. It was something like that. That was neat. Cobius! Cobius was just... There's nobody stronger than Paul. Throw legendaries at him. But in doing so, they made him like the only character, one of those like strong trainers that beat Ash in the league, that everyone wanted to see again. Because it's like, who the heck is this guy? Because you can't just throw a guy with multiple legendaries in the league and pretend like it wasn't a big deal. Like, with the world building they had set up in the anime, like a trainer having a legendary was kind of crazy. At the time. I mean, later on, like, now in Journeys, they kind of threw that all out the window, and Go just casually catches, like, 4 of them. Which was stupid. Like, they gave Go 4 of them, and Ash didn't get any in that series. Like, he got Solgaleo, and he got Naganadel, but, I mean, Ultra Beasts don't really count as much. Yeah, exactly. So, it's like... And then, like, you're telling me that there was no follow-up later? Like, did he not challenge the Elite Four? Because, like, I know it's never mentioned in the anime, but I think most people have the consensus that winning the league gives you the opportunity to fight the Elite Four and Champion for their positions. And are we really gonna see Hero pretend that anyone in the Elite Four could beat him? Yeah, but that's the problem, Cyan. He didn't even catch them all. Hold on, I had a Dex. I don't know if I still have it. I remember when I was curious to see how close they would actually go, because I'm like, there's no way they actually do this. So I actually kept track. I don't have it anymore. I had like a Go's Pokedex on my Pokedex tracker app that I literally have pulled up right now. Yeah, I've only got the series run, my standard living dex, the shiny living dex, and the Legends Arceus dex that we're doing right now. But he only caught about 130 Pokemon out of 900. And, like, there was so many Pokemon, there was no reason to give him legendaries at that point. And not really, because there's multiple times throughout the entire series, we constantly see all the Pokemon he catches throughout the Cerise laboratory. Yeah, we do talk. Yeah, see, that's one thing you're gonna learn very quickly, Collectathon, is that whenever we get on a topic, I talk a lot. We get very locked into our conversations. But yeah, also sign, even if off-screen catches were to happen, and they really weren't shown in the laboratory, there are multiple episodes where he straight up pulls up his Pokedex and like scrolls through his Pokedex, and you can see them all in Pokedex, like National Dex order, and you can see that only the Pokemon he caught on screen are the ones that are registered to his Pokedex. Because, like, Go had, like, an ego problem, where he kept bragging to people about how many Pokemon he caught. So he was constantly pulling on his Pokedex and, like, flipping through, like, look how many Pokemon I caught, look how good I am. Yeah, he sucked. I hated him. He was genuinely awful. His final arc wasn't even good either, like... Yes, he saw Mew, and everyone knew he wasn't actually gonna catch it in the end. Like, no one actually thought he was gonna catch the thing. But... yeah, Yeah, I can see Cynthia beating Tobias, but I don't think any of the other Elite Four would have beaten him. Yeah, Cynthia probably could have. Honestly, though, it depends to me. Like, what else was on his team? Like, are we gonna sit here and pretend that those were his only 2 legendaries? Like, let's be real, it's very likely he had at least a couple more. They got the dick up from the dump. Yeah, no, he literally does look like generic anime protagonists. But yeah, I do believe that Go was originally supposed to be Ash's replacement. I do think so. And I think that's why he never finished his dex, because I think he was intended to take over instead of Liko. But I think about halfway through the series, I think they realized that, oh shit, no one likes him. They all hate him. Everyone thinks he's stupid. And I think at that point, they said, alright, he's not coming back. But yeah, I do think the way he was built, if you like kind of like look at the pieces they put in place in Journeys, I do feel like he was intended to take over the anime after Journeys. But since nobody liked him, that never happened. And yeah, I think that's why he didn't catch them all, because I think he was intended to keep catching them all in the next season. And I'm so glad they didn't go with that, because 1, Go sucks. But 2, Liko is great. I love Liko. She is fantastic. And not just because she picked the best Pokemon in Gen 9 as her starter. There, I said it. Spriggy is literally the best design in the entirety of Generation 9. It is the Sprigatito line is the only line in the entire set I like. No, I'm not a big Clodsire person. Nope, I'm not a big fan of the Fire Starter. I don't mind them. But they're not like they're not gonna breach my top 100. And the Fire Croc, I honestly don't even like him that much. Honestly, see, the Dunsparce is okay. I do like the fact that it was designed stupidly, because, yeah, it does kind of feel like malicious compliance. Like, everyone kept begging for it, so they made it purposely look awful and kind of stupid and derpy, specifically just, like, spite people. But, man, I just don't like it because, man, there was so much potential there. It looked like it was going to evolve into, like, a dragon type. And, like, Dunsparce as a Pokemon has, like, so much potential. Because it has, like, oh, what do you call it? Oh, what's that freaking... Its ability. It has the... What's it called? The one Togekiss has. Super Luck. It has Super Luck. And it has Ancient Power. And, like, all kinds of that crap. Serene Grace, that one. But, yeah, it looked cool. It sounded like its evolution would be really, really strong and also be pretty cool as a design, which is why everyone wanted it. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think it was either. And I think that's why it took so long. Oh, did you just watch the final episode of Journeys? Was it the one where Ash leaves, or was it the one where he fights Leon? Because there's kind of like 2 final episodes. Yeah, okay. That's what I figured. Because yeah, the last episode of Ash isn't technically part of Journeys. Yeah, that final fight was pretty cool. I will say I don't think the rest of the fight was all that interesting. Oh, they don't show Primate? Damn! Wow! That is unfortunate. Poor guy. He got completely shafted. They showed Larvitar, but not Primate. That is hilarious. Which, to be fair, I think you guys don't understand this. I never realized this myself until I watched the anime. You guys want to know how long he had Primate for? It's like Haunter all over again. You know how he had Haunter for like one episode? And didn't even technically catch it, like Sabrina actually caught it? Like, it was wild the whole time. Let me look at some episodes real quick. Let me pull this up. He caught Primate. At the end of episode 25. He released it and gave it to the other guy in episode 29. 4 episodes. 4 episodes. And you want to know what the best part about that was? I don't think he used it a single time in any of those episodes. Except for the one where he releases it. To be fair, I won't complain too much, because in that episode span was when Brock got his Bullpix, which is obviously the best episode of Generation 1. I am not biased. I don't know if that would have been a good way to reveal it, but I do think that I do love Annihilate. Because, I just love the fact that they took its Pokédex entry that it gets so angry that it dies, literally. Like, that's the entire point of its evolution, is the Pokédex entry that says that it gets so angry that it just dies. And it's so funny to me. That your Primate quite literally evolves by killing itself in rage. Oh yeah, no, everyone thought that was gonna happen. See, that's what everyone thought was gonna be the lead up into Gen 9. Everyone's like, there's gonna be a there's gonna be like a Dragon Eevee in Gen 9, and Chloe's Eevee is gonna be like, oh, it's never gonna decide what it wants to evolve into, and then right at the end, oh, there it is. But no, and it wasn't even, and like they also did the whole, like everyone was also like, okay, well they're gonna have Chloe's Eevee Gigantamax at some point, right? I don't think we ever saw Gigantamax Eevee in the anime, did we? I mean, I missed a couple episodes, I think, in there, but I don't think we did. Because we know that Gigantamax Eevee cannot be evolved, I don't believe. I think it blocks them out of evolving. So you don't accidentally evolve the one and only Eevee you could get during the base game. So I don't think we ever actually saw Gigantamax Eevee, which I assume was like the backup plan was, oh, it'll Gigantamax in the end, and that'll be like, oh, that's why it wasn't evolving. But I don't think that ever happened. And like that's kind of stupid. We saw G-Max Pikachu and Meow, but we never saw that. The ending to X and Y. In which way? Like, what specifically about the ending? The fact that he released Greninja, the fact that just the last episode where they all split up, or like the whole Team Flare arc. I ignored the kiss. I think that's this. I hate that ship. That ship is horrible. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry at all. I hate that ship. It's the most, it's so forced. I hate Serena in general. She is so stupid. She is genuinely one of the worst companions we've ever had in the anime, and I'm sorry, because that probably pissed off about half of my viewer base right now. I think she's one of the worst characters in the entire anime. I think her entire point of being in the anime is to be a forced love interest. That's her entire personality. That's the only thing she's there for. Every action she takes throughout the entire series is to try to hit on Ash. And I'm not kidding, and I wish I was. Even her whole goal of, like, doing the like, showcases. Yeah, this, see, the whole reason she even did showcases in the first place is because some other girl was there at the showcase she watched and was like, if you don't like him, well, I'm gonna do it. And she specifically joined the showcases to one-up this other girl who was crushing on Ash. Specifically to get ahead of her. Specifically because she thought the pageants would impress Ash. I am not kidding. Her entire freaking arc, everything she ever does in the anime, is just because she's crushing on Ash. The only singular moment she has to herself is the moment where she cuts her hair. That's the only moment. And honestly, that episode was kind of stupid because she was honestly a little bitch in that episode. I'm not even gonna lie. That was kind of a stupid episode. Because wow, her Finnegan tripped over the clothes, and oh no, she lost. And then she, like, has, like, a pissy fit and almost gives up on her dreams. It's like, girl, it was one loss. Jeez. You can't win everything. But it was, the whole her hair thing was okay. Yeah, but he was never like that. I mean, he had like a little tantrum in that one episode where he lost to AJ, and like episode, like, what was that? 6, 7, episode 8, I want to say. And but even when he, like, lost to Brock in the gym, he didn't throw a fit. He didn't give up on his dreams. I mean, he cheated to win, kind of. But he didn't have a pissy fit over it. Who besides Brock is your favorite companion? Yeah, that's a fair question. You do have to exclude Brock because he's just automatically the number one. I will say, okay, who someone asked about Bonnie and Clement. I like them. They're probably not I won't say they're my favorite companions, but I do like them. They're alright. I do think there's times where they feel like they're trying a little too hard to replace Brock. Like, Bonnie is supposed to be, like, the comedic love interest joke that Brock was before. And that sometimes gets a little old. But as characters, I do like them. They're alright. Oh god, as my favorite, that's really hard. May and Max I can't count because I've never seen Hoenn, so I can't compare with them. I'm not the biggest fan of Misty. I know a lot of people love her and, like, oh my god, because they grew up with her. But I'm not gonna say Misty. Not Misty. Can't say May or Max. Dawn's up there. I would not say she's my favorite. She's up there, though. Not Iris or Silent. I hate it. Iris was stupid. Silent was alright, but he was very obviously a Brock replacement. Even more so than Clement and Bonnie were. Yeah, no, there was nothing there with Silent. His whole personality was to replace Brock. Hey, I liked his Snivy. I liked the sass it had. But that was about it.
The only... the Mellow Edda episodes were okay, I guess. Where they were kind of hanging out with Cynthia for a while. Those were alright. But yeah, that's about it. The League was awful. And the entire storyline... Oh, see, that's where you lose me. That's where you lose me. See, I like all three of the starters. You know, I don't like Tepig's evolutions at all. I like Tepig. It's kind of cute. It's alright. I love the Snivy line. It's genuinely one of my favorite starter lines of the entire series. And Oshawott alright. I mean, I'm not, like, the biggest fan of Oshawott as the base form, but I do like its evolutions. We're still win again. God, I'm trying to think. It's gotta be one of the Gen 7 casts. Honestly, because I know they're not really traveling companions, but they kind of fill that role. Probably Lily. Probably Lily. Yeah, I'm gonna say Lily. Final answer. Her arc and journeys kind of cemented it, in my opinion. No, actually, I'm gonna be completely honest. I actually wasn't even considering the Vulpix until you mentioned the fact that she has a Vulpix. But I will say, now that I know that, that's also a plus. But yeah, I actually had not considered that her Vulpix when I had made that decision. When I chose her. I do think her character arc is very good, and is one of the best in the series. Throughout Gen 7 and throughout Gen 8. Yeah, I will agree on that, though. Gen 4 starters are kind of mid. I like Torterra. But I don't like Turtwig or Grotto. I'm not the biggest fan of the Chimchar line. I like Infernape. It's alright, but it's not my favorite. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Piplup line. It's also kind of just alright, but not a favorite. The worst line of starters? Gen 8. Not even a question. Not even a question. Gen 8. I hate all three of them. Not a single line that I like in Generation 8. None of them. I don't like Rookie. I don't like any of its evolutions. I don't like Sobble. I don't like any of its evolutions. And I don't like Bunny or any of its evolutions. They all suck. Wishin has the worst Pokemon? Oh god, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, because honestly, every generation has a lot of Pokemon I like. I will say Gen 9 has the least amount of my favorites, but I would not go as far to say that any of the designs are bad. What's our progress? Are we almost done? I know we were at 50 after the last cycle. Are we there? Please tell me we're done. Oh, we're done! Oh, we did it. Oh, thank God. We actually overdid it by a significant amount while we were talking, but it's perfectly fine. It's fine. I'm perfectly happy with that. Alright, so we need 6 more Blizzards and 13 more Woodhammers. The best starter line. See, this is gonna sound stupid because a lot of people don't like any of these lines. Okay, no, Snivy people kind of typically like. I've always said that if you gave me a Legends game where the 3 starters were Snivy, Fennekin, and Popplio, I would never be able to pick. I would never be able to pick. Although now Spriggy is kind of catching up with Snivy for me. So, either or. And I probably wouldn't be able to pick. I know no one really likes Poplio or its evolution line, but I don't know. Something about it. I really like it. It's adorable. He's a little silly little fella. And I do think Primarina is very, very well designed. And Brion is one of my favorite mid-starters. Like, mid-evolution starters. It's probably one of the last good design ones. Like, we had Torracat was good. Torracat was good. I really like Brion. Breakson's alright. That's it. Wait, no. Florigato. I like Florigato. That's it. We don't really get good mid-evolution starters anymore. Very often. A lot of the times they feel very forced. Like, they design... You can physically tell when you watch that, when you're, like, playing the game. You can tell that they started by designing the base form of the starter, and then they designed the final form of the starter. And then they designed the second form last to fit between them. See what I mean? I feel like you can physically see that with a lot of Pokemon. Very first starter ever designed was Ivysaur. Really? I actually did not know that. That probably you know what? That probably explains why Ivysaur is one of the only mid-evolution starters that I really like. I actually really like Ivysaur. I will say that. I do think Ivysaur is the best of the middle stage starters in Gen 1. I don't mind Charmeleon, and I don't mind Wartortle. Gen 2s were alright as well. I really like Quilava. Bayleef's really good. And Croconaw is alright. Yeah, it's around Generation 5, I want to say. No. No, yeah, Gen 5, because Pignite sucks. It's around Gen 5 where the starters, where some of the middle evolution starters kind of started to feel kind of like they didn't really care as much about them, and they were kind of just thrown in there. And nowadays, it's so obvious. You can tell. Like, does anyone actually care about the middle stage between Fuecoco and Skeledirge? Like, at all? Is there anybody? See, maybe it's just because it's Gen 1 and I've seen it for so long. I actually don't mind Charmeleon too much. I know it's kind of a lame design, but it kind of works. The worst starter in general, as in full line, or just like as one of the Pokemon in the line. Wacky. Wacky is the worst one as a singular one of all of them. It's the worst one. As a full line... Actually. The best and worst regional variants. Tricky. The best is definitely between Alolan Vulpix and Hisuian Zorua. I'm gonna give it to Alolan Vulpix, not just because I'm very biased towards Vulpix, like in serious, like being serious here for a moment. Like, not just because I'm a big Vulpix person, but because it's the perfect regional variant design from a design perspective, because it shows exactly what they were doing with the regional variants. It takes a fire type, it makes it into the opposite of what it was, but it's designed in a way that makes it feel like it was always meant to be that way. A lot of the some of the other regional variants don't feel that way. They don't feel like they were supposed to be like that. They feel like they're kind of forced to be that way. You know what I mean? Hisui and Zorua is also in the same boat, in that way, where it's not only just a really good design, but it also just works. Like it feels like something that would actually happen, and it feels like an actual unique species. Like, let's be real, like Galarian Zigzagoon's cool and all, but does anyone really believe that it makes sense from like an ecological standpoint? Does anyone really think that you would have a punk rock Zigzagoon that happens to be a dark type while also having a normal Zigzagoon? But yeah, another thing for the Vulpix as well that makes it perfect is part of the reason. One of the other reasons is for Vulpix that makes it also feel very, very believable and very good is because because Vulpix is based on a red fox, so they just made an ice-type Vulpix based on an Arctic fox. I mean, it's the most obvious thing they could have done. It explains what they were going for perfectly in every sense of the word. So I will say Alolan Vulpix is the best Alolan form, and I feel like to a lot of people, Alolan Vulpix is what sold people on the regional variants. Which is good because it was one of the very first ones they revealed. It was in the original trailer that revealed regional variants. Vulpix was one of the Pokemon they revealed with it. That, and I think Exeggutor, which is hilarious. Worst regional variant. I need to like look through a list because I actually like don't know them all. Hold on. Pokemon regional variant. I'm like trying to remember all of them off the top of my head, but I kind of only just like have my favorites in mind. Had Raichu, Sandshrews line is really good. Wiglet is not a regional variant though. It's stupid, but it's not considered one. It's considered a completely separate species, which is stupid. It's not. It's literally just a regional variant, but not. I don't. But it technically doesn't count. Yeah, it has a unique page in the Pokedex. Man, there's so many good ones. Like, so many good ones. Oh my god. Like, even Darmanitan's line is really good. Lilligant's solid. And, like, even though Zigzagoon doesn't make much sense, the design is good. Goldfish. Eh. Sneasel's really good. Ursula's decent. Or Galarian Corsola into Corsola, because I understand why they went for it. It's supposed to represent, like, dying coral reefs or something. And it's supposed to be, like, all the Corsola died when a reef died, and so they became ghosts. Hisuian Typhlosion is freaking amazing. Oh, no, I know what it is. I found it. No, I don't. I just saw it, and I don't even gotta question it. Gloria, Mr. Mime. See, I was thinking Galarian Stunfisk at first, but it's actually not that bad of a design. Oh, I did need strong. Yeah, I don't actually mind. I don't actually mind it. I don't mind Galarian Stunfisk. I like the fact that it's based on like a bear trap. It's kind of a clever idea for what the Pokemon is. Does it make sense from an ecological standpoint? No. And honestly, it makes no sense. So it doesn't really make sense as a regional variant, but it's a good design. All of the above, Cyan. All of the above. Both because it's Mr. Mime and because they somehow made Mr. Mime worse and I didn't know that was possible. Mr. Rhyme, it's alright, but it's also really stupid at the same time. Like, it's better than Mr. Mime, but just barely. You know what I mean? It looks like the guy from Carnival Games. That's what Mr. Rhyme looks like. He looks like the host of Carnival Games. Yeah, I would say I do like Galarian Zigzagoon. It's very adorable. yeah, he kind of does. Favorite animal? Let me just, pull up my Twitch channel, looks at name. Yeah, it's foxes. Not sure what you really expected from me. Alright, so blizzards are done. We still need more wood hammers. Which is fine, because wood hammer actually doesn't miss. Like Blizzard does. Also, WoW, also really is taking most of our stream. We're gonna finish it, but it's gonna have taken 2 hours by the time it's done. We're 2:18 into the stream. We started this around 20-ish minutes in, I think. Maybe close to half an hour after the distortion was actually done. But yeah. Okay, to be fair, I actually really like the concept behind Hisuian type lotion. I wasn't quite sure on him when the game first came out, but he's grown on me significantly. I really do like Hisuian type lotion now. But yes, I feel like, as far as regional variants, I feel like some... It's okay for some to not make sense. But then there's some that go too far into it. Like, okay, I don't think they have to, but I do think the best ones do, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to make sense for them to be decent. But to be the best regional variants, they have to be good, but they also have to make sense. And I guess that's why Vulpix makes the most sense for me. Because it makes sense, it's based on an Arctic fox base compared to being based on a normal fox. And yeah. Although the Executor is kind of in the middle for me. I don't hate it, but I'm also not like gonna sit here and be like it's great either. So it's kind of just in the middle. Yeah, I admit I'm also not the biggest fan of the Hisuian Decidueye. It's also in the mid for me, probably the low mid even. I'm sorry, cool. I know you just said false, but I don't know, man. It's the worst of the batch in this game specifically. Hisuian Samurai and Hisuian Typhlosion are great. I'm not the biggest fan of the Decidueye. I like what they went for with it. I don't know, it doesn't work for me. The other two felt like they blended into the previous two designs well enough. Hisuian Decidueye feels like it should have had a Hisuian Rowlet and a Hisuian Dartrix as well. You know what I mean? It feels like too much of a departure. It would be like normal Linoon evolving into Galarian. It would be like if they made normal
Linoon. It would be like if they made normal Linoon evolve into Obstagoon. That's what it feels like with Hisuian Decidueye. Anyways, give me 1 second. I'm gonna be right back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, Hisuian Gudra's great. Not my favorite, but it's up there. It's pretty good. It's in the probably upper mid, low high. All right, let's see. What did I miss? Doesn't look like I missed much. Yep, didn't look. All right, didn't miss much. Sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna admit. I won't say it's my least favorite. It's probably the middle for me. Trico's my favorite. Torchic is probably my least favorite, personally. I've never been, like, the big Mudkip guy that I know a lot of people are. Right, we need 5 more wood hammers. Origin for Poke, I don't think that counts as the regional.
Yeah, that's not a regional. That's a form change. But if we were to say worst form change Pokemon, that would definitely be a contender. If we were to say best alternate form Pokemon, oh, that's kind of hard to like define. That would be stuff like Skyform Shaman or Origin Form Giratina. Or like the Ash Cap Pikachu's, technically. Like alternate forms. Or like, if you really like Unknown L. Yeah, I know, they really are. Most of them are really good. They've done... That's probably why they're so popular, is because they really have done a good job with them. Honestly, I think they both suck equally awful. Cool. I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to decide what my favorite, like, alternate form would be. It's definitely between Skyform Shaman and Origin Form Giratina. Like, both of those are really good. But, like, there's also stuff like Meloetta's alternate form. Or... technically all the Arceus colors. Or, like, Genesect having the drive is technically different, and it actually counts as a form change because you can physically see the drive is different on the sprite, which is very cool, by the way. That is a very neat little detail they did in there, but they didn't have to. Yeah, Shaman Skyform is really, really good. That's probably, like, one of my favorite Pokemon designs, like, in my top... probably my top 30, I want to say. Maybe even top 20. It's like, it's up there in the upper tier for me. Origin Giratina. Yeah, Origin Giratina places lower on my my all-time Pokemon lists. So I would probably say Shaman Sky has to win. My favorite alternate form. But in reality, that's also just in part because I like Shaman more than Giratina. So you can kind of take it with a grain of salt. Oh my god. Oh, let's go. Freaking finally. Two hours of suffering. Yeah, they are pretty cool. I do like... See, like, they kind of suck as a design. Like, no one really likes them as Pokemon. But as a lore thing, they are pretty good. They are pretty good. Yeah, that and East and West Gastrodon and Shellos and Gastrodon, which is actually interesting. Did you guys know that Shellos and Gastrodon were originally planned for Generation 3? They are in the code of Ruby and Sapphire as an unused Pokemon. Cool. Which one is that? There's only 2 of those I know of, and neither are in this game. Ah! Yeah, Perugly. Okay. Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know why that's faster than Latios, but it's kind of hilarious. That's part of the argument to say that speed is more of a reaction stat than it is like a movement speed stat. You know how like Fire Emblem has 2 different stats for that? They've got like a reaction speed stat and a movement speed stat. Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. That tells me that Perugly probably has insanely fast reaction speed. But, yep. Anyways, technically they're cool. You submitted that a little early, but I'm not gonna say anything. Because we hadn't submitted it yet. But whatever. So who's next? I genuinely cannot remember because we've been so freaking long on a Bomb of Snow. Was it Lucario? I think it's Lucario next. Yeah, okay. Lucario's also a lengthy one, but not that bad because I actually have... Yeah, I literally see it. I got bulk up on it. Yeah, see, I don't understand the hate against Garbodor. I actually really like Garbodor, in fact. I think its design is pretty cool. They kind of took the trash monster idea and kind of did some neat stuff with it. I like the fact that it has like a gas pump for an arm that it sprays poison from. I think that's kind of a really cool idea. Like, they didn't just make it a pile of trash. They, like, incorporated the trash into it and how it works as a species, you know? I think it's pretty good. I'm not going to go ahead and say it's in my top 100 or even 200, but it's in the upper level of the mid-tier, I will say. People just hate on it because they wanted reason to hate Gen 5. They were just mad that they couldn't use Charizard for the 5th generation in a row. Yeah, it's one of those, alright, okay, this sort of mons. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it kinda was. I mean, I wouldn't quite say that there's the lowest lows in Generation 5, because I do think there's some worse ones in later generations, like all the Gen 8 starters. But, you know. Yeah, National Dex was a thing in Gen 5, 6, and... Well, okay, no, National Dex did not exist in Gen 7. You could still transfer in to Sun and Moon, but there was no National Dex in the game. It was just the regional dex. That was the first game where we only had a regional dex. Yeah. In Sun and Moon, you got the Shiny Charm for completing the regional Pokedex. You could still transfer Pokemon in, but they had no dex entries. Nope, it does not. But yeah, once they hit Generation 8, they just full-on removed Pokemon from being able to even be transferred in, which was stupid. But it was funny. The only reason I know I understand people hated on it because of how they did it, and I agree. I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but I do agree that it's stupid that they went and went ha 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 ha, and they went and like laughed and said that, oh my god, how dare they cut all these Pokemon for their bad animations that they said they were going to make better animations for. Which, one, yes, I agree that that's kind of dumb. But in reality, the reason I think it's stupid is because they were removed for the sole purpose of charging you more money for them. It's like, does anyone here genuinely believe that there was any other reason that they removed them except for the fact that the DLC for Sword and Shield was already planned and they removed them specifically to make you pay for the DLC to get those Pokemon and use those Pokemon as a selling point of the DLC? Like, they weren't very slick with it. All right, so we are doing Lucario, which needs 70 Agiles. We have to stun it with items 20 times. Okay, we gotta go find. I have to go find that Alpha Lucario now. Close combat 40 times.
Aura Sphere. 70 Aura Sphere? Oh my god, okay. Okay, to be fair, that's not going to be too bad because it can't miss. But it's still kind of eh. Alright, that's fine. Knock out 10 with fire moves. Defeat 15. So we need to do 5 with fire and 5 with anything. Alright. Alright, we have to go start resetting on the, the Icelands. Yeah, I will agree that Flamingo is probably one of the weakest designs in Generation 8. Alright, Random, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. SMPC. We had to come by and say hi every time. Oh, I didn't even realize we were. Alright, hold on. Hey, luck. Got a chance. Zorua, and it's guaranteed to turn into a Zoroark outbreak. Or a big Zorua outbreak, which would be even better, honestly. I would love a big shiny Zorua. We would probably evolve the old Zorua we got in that case for our shiny. Oh yeah, like the fun, since you don't understand, since you guys want to know the other hidden task we have going on in this game, I realize we haven't mentioned it yet. That isn't part of the 100% for this game, but we're doing it anyways. So, you want to know how much of a completionist I am? I have a shiny living dex. Yeah, we're working on a shiny living dex. The only shinies I'm counting from this game, because I find them too easy to obtain, are the Hisuian form variants. So, throughout this playthrough, we've been trying to get every single shiny Hisuian form in the game. We've already gotten one Zorua, and we've been struggling to find a second for literally 60 streaks. This is your mental asylum, like a running client. Oh, no, yeah, understandable. I have, about 100 and... Hold on, I'll check after we... Yeah, I can hit the goal off that. Let me get through this first. Yeah, I also don't count any shinies from Generation 9 unless they're Generation 9 Pokemon, because they're too easy to obtain in that game too. They've made shiny hunting too easy, and it makes it less fun for me, so I just haven't been doing it in these games. Guys, it ain't looking good, I gotta admit. Ow. I already have shiny Garchomp. I got it in the Principari. No, by too easy, I mean I've literally seen someone go into Scarlet and Violet, including myself, and find a shiny rate of one shiny every 5 minutes. That's what I mean by way too easy. Also, I mean, do you see my screen? Look at my shiny count. Look at the shiny count at the top of the screen. We found 77 shinies in this game. And about 90% of them have been without trying. They just happened. We've had a few that we went for, which were Hisuian forms we've gotten so far, but most of them have not been we've not been after. Cyan, see, that's the funny part. I'm used to spending 100 hours on a single shiny before, in the past. 77 shinies in 200 hours is way too high of a rate. We're averaging a shiny every 2.5 hours or so right now. Maybe closer to every 1 hour, one shiny every 3 hours is about what our average is at right now. Yeah, we're about at, yeah, because we're at what? We're on stream 71 right now, and we're on a shiny count of 77. We're very close to averaging one shiny every stream. Which I will say we have not found one this stream yet. But we've also had streams where we found 6 of them in one stream, so... Yeah. So anyways, we just got screwed again, so that's unfortunate. But also kind of expected at this point. Wait, I need to check. How many berries do I have? I gotta be running low by now, aren't I? Yeah, I have 10. Okay, we need to go do this Palos one. Restock a bit. And hey, maybe we'll get a shiny here. Probably. Oh, jeez, whoops. Oh, whoops. Oh, God! How do you dodge that? Oh, you're fine. You need to. Ow! They are not easy to dodge here. Ow, goodness. Buddy, chill. Oh, God. Good lord. These guys are putting up a fight. It's got Blizzard! Oh, God! Oh, we're screwed. Oh my God, you almost hit me. No one time. I'm not sure how that guy was following me despite the fact. Oh my God. I really should back away. We survived. Want a Pokemon based on a manatee? Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be kind of neat, actually. But then again, it took them 9 generations to give us a dolphin, so there's that. Oh, and get your hopes up. I still cannot believe it took them 9 generations to give us a dolphin. That was literally like a meme for so long that we have almost 1,000 Pokemon and don't have a dolphin. It was honestly kind of surreal when they finally revealed a dolphin, and it instantly made it one of my favorite Subgen 9. Palafin. I mean, Finizen, anyways. I hate Palafin with a passion. You are so freaking huge. Oh my God. Alright, anyways, let's go check and see if the Lucario's here. Oh, no, actually, it's not going to be. That Abra is right on where it spawns. Yeah. Palafin's hero form is horrendous. Potentially one of the worst designed Pokemon of all time, in my opinion. Absolutely awful. I don't even know what, like, the inspiration for it was. Like, I'm trying to think, like, what was the inspiration behind it? Like, what was their, like, what was the lore? Like, because they always base a Pokemon on something. Like, what was it they based, what was the inspiration that led to Palafin? Yeah, the idea was there, the execution was not. Nah, yeah. Also, they just kind of made Palafin suck in general, because, like, it's literally the exact same as Finizen, otherwise, other than, like, aside from, you know, the little heart on its chest. Which, to be fair, the little heart on its chest is kind of adorable, but, like, come on. You couldn't have at least made its base form different as well. Like, it's so dumb. Yeah, I'm saying what made them design the figure to do a dolphin? Yeah, exactly. What was the inspiration behind a dolphin superhero? What is it based on? Like, what was the myth or the story or whatever? Dolphin superheroes may be inspired by numerous accounts of wild dolphins saving people in the open seas. Maybe? See, that's what I mean. Like, we don't even have a confirmation. They kind of have to guess. I don't even know about that because, like, that's like Lapras's whole deal. Or, like, Dragonite even has a whole thing about saving people lost at sea. Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong spot. Lucario's over this hill. Like, Garchomp's over here. Lucario's over on this side. Up on top of the falls. No, but I mean, they've got the whole concept of a Pokemon that saves people lost at sea. Like, yeah, this one's a dolphin that does it, but they've already technically done the, you know. Oh yeah, Lucario's over here. Gonna be like up over this hill here. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right here. This Lucario is very well hidden, I will say. Which, given I think it's one of the highest level alphas in the game, isn't too surprising. Right, now we have to sit here for a while. I hope you guys are ready for a lot of stuns. I do have to catch it. I just want to get the stuns out of the way. At least most of them. We need how many do we need to catch? Or no, we don't have to catch it. We need to battle it. Yeah, so no, we need to do our stuns now. Yeah, we don't have to catch it anymore. We already caught 16 of them. Through, like, outbreaks. Because we've had Lucario ones that mutate. Or Ryola ones that mutate. Which technically we could go for, but it would take longer. Probably a force of mutation. Than just going for it here. Let's continue talking about Gen 9 Pokemon. Alright, what next? The fact that Violet fans got shafted. No. Yeah, exactly. See, now we have the same brain. I know what they went for. It's explained in the lore later in that they aren't actually from the past and future. They're made up by the professors. They are basically, basically what the professors think their ideal versions of what they would look like in the past and future were, and the implication is that Terrapagos is a time warper. It basically has it has like a dimensional warp ability over time and space, and it literally created the Pokemon. The time machine that they use to get the Paradox Pokemon isn't actually a time machine. It's more of a wish-granting machine. And it's more of a power over dimensions, I think. So what Harapagos basically is doing is it's searching for alternate dimensions where the Pokemon that they believe are real actually are. Why did I catch that? Why did I do that? Whatever. I don't know why I did that. I just wasn't thinking. Mine went on autopilot for a second. Brain no work. Yeah, indeed. My brain no work. Yeah, see, I don't like the... See, I don't mind the paradox forms because I understand the lore behind them now. Toadstool, Wiglet, and Wugtrio, on the other hand... No, they're stupid. I hate them. That was dumb. Those should have just been marked as regionals. Those should have just been regional forms. They tried to do something different with them, and it makes no sense because from a standpoint of the Pokemon themselves, they're literally just regional forms in everything but name. The paradoxes at least make sense, because they are not just the same Pokemon, but different. Yeah, they could have. They 100% could have. You could 100% make the argument that the Toadstool line are just tentacles that evolved to live on land in Paldea because the land was more bountiful for them than the waters were. And there you go. Paldean tentacle. It's actually incredibly easy to make them work as regional forms. A bigger stretch than a Zigzagoon became a rock star and is now a regional variant and a dark type. I'm not sure about that. I feel like it's a lot less of a stretch than that. Why am I here? I went to the wrong area. Yeah, it literally only has Tauros and Wooper. Honestly, some of them are dumb, because I feel like some of the evolutions could have been marked as regionals. Like, yes, I get they're trying to go away from that, and they're wanting to do, like, make them their own Pokemon. Like, Annihilate is cool and all, and is cool as an evolution rather than a regional form. But, like, Clodsire? Like, really? Clodsire would 100% could have just been... could have just been Paldean Quagsire. Like, no one would have... No one would have ever had any complaints with that. Nothing would change if they just called it... if they just called it Paldean Quagsire. But the same thing can be said about several things, like I said. Like, again, Toadstool and Wiglet and Wugtrio could have also been the same way. Yeah, like, exactly. Rodriguez could also be just, Doloria and Cofagrigus. Although I will say, I do really like Rodriguez. Yeah, Rodriguez is probably one of my favorite Gen 8 designs. Alright, one more. Now, the method to evolve it is the worst of the entire series, and it's the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But... yeah. We keep doing this goal. Every time. This is becoming a very, very common trend of us. Alright, now we just reset the area repeatedly. Alright, can we knock out that accordion 9 more times? Galarian Farfetch'd is pretty bad. But, I will say, I never actually had trouble evolving one. I never did have trouble with Farfetch'd. It's very, very simple. There's like a very simple, easy setup for it. See, I honestly... I think I'm going to be completely honest with you. I forgot how Deantaros existed. It's that forgettable. I do know what they went for with them, though, and I do like what they went for. Like, the concept behind them is very nice. But, yeah, they're very forgettable. Well, that's the thing, is it's really not that luck-based. Because, after the setup I did, on a person with 6 Pokemon, I landed 8 crits. You only need 3. I landed 8 crits. Low level Farfetch'd against a trainer with 6 Pokemon. Give it basically set it up so that its crit chance is as high as possible. And then spam moves that have boosted crit chance. No, I'm pretty sure it's only 3. I could be wrong on that. It could be 5. But I thought it was 3. Hold on, let me check. Let me double check that. But yeah, I got 8 of them. So I was even if it was 5, they still wasn't close. Like I was well over. Farfetch'd. No, I'm right. It's free. Yeah, free crits. Yeah, no, it's not 5. There's still setups you can do with wild Pokemon to make it work too. It's just easier to do with trainers. You can set up against Pokemon that has high defense, and spam a not very effective move against it that has a high crit chance, and that'll do it just as well. Or you could always just do what I do whenever I have to evolve a Hitmon, have to get a Hitmontop. Just get one for a trade. Every time. Or transfer one in from home, which is what I've been doing now. Recommend using a Shuckle. Yeah, that makes sense. Very high defense, and you can spam moves that are not very effective on it. Like Slash, I think, has high crit chance. It probably gets Slash. It gets, like, most of the crit boosting moves. Ugh. So anyways, that was our last cycle there, because we were at our 3-hour mark. So I am going to quickly clean up my inventory a bit. Go release a Pokemon, and then we're going to end off here. Yep, I wish I could stream tomorrow, but yeah, got called into work, so that's unfortunate. But, yeah, well, what can you do? And of course, they called me in for the late shift, too. If they had called me in for, like, an earlier shift, it wouldn't have mattered. But no, they want to be there till 9, so... Yeah, that's not gonna happen. We're not gonna be able to finish streaming after that. That needs to stay. Oh, that's shiny. I forgot we haven't put that in. Thank God it does that. Pops that up. Mangados needs to stay. Yeah, we likely will finish on Friday for Mario. And yeah, we'll figure out. It's either gonna be raids, Saturday and Sunday even. I don't work Monday, surprisingly. Yeah, so surprise. We'll also have a Sunday stream this week. Yeah, the trunk is coming on Wednesday this week, not Monday. So I won't be streaming Tuesday, instead, but I will be streaming Monday. So we're gonna have one. We're gonna have one. We're gonna have one. We'll be streaming Zelda on Monday, and then probably not on Tuesday. But to be fair, I will give you guys an advance warning. It's probably going to be like a 6-hour Zelda stream. I'll probably do an early start. I know some of you probably won't be able to make it at first, but yeah, we'll be streaming a while, probably, for Zelda. I'm not sure yet, because I will have to stop for dinner at some point, and we'll have to pause the stream. Let me trying to think. We normally start on 7. Four maybe, or yeah, 5 to 11 even could work. Let me see. Hold on. Let me check what time I work Tuesday, because I do work Tuesday, but it's like later in the day. And I mean, it also could just be 5 to like 10, and we don't do 6. But it'll be a longer than 3-hour stream. I guarantee it. Like I don't have a set time frame for the stream. We're just gonna go until I don't want to play the game anymore, really. And it's Breath of the Wild. Because I know for a fact that I won't be able to keep myself 3 hours. I'm gonna want to play more. So we're gonna play more. That's just gonna be what happens, more than likely. Until 4 on Monday, but I have nothing happening afterwards other than a break for my food as well. Then I might just start at 4 and we just go and see how long we go for. Yeah, we're 2 to 9 tomorrow, 2 to 7 Friday. Saturday I'm off, Sunday I'm off, Monday I'm off. Oh, I do work kinda early on on Tuesday. I work at 8 a.m., which normally the truck one that we don't stream for is 7 a.m. But the extra hour, I could probably start at 4, and go until 10. That would probably work. You might miss the beginning. I know that sucks, but hopefully you can probably join me by around 3 o'clock. Or 3 o'clock. You probably join me by 5. Or maybe 4:30. But, yeah, we'll see. Okay, this Kragados needs to go over here, because this Kragados is the one we're going to use to as trade. Probably not earlier. Yeah, understandable. Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I'll probably start around 4 o'clock on Monday. We won't stream Tuesday, but on, after work Wednesday... Do I work Thursday? I do not work Thursday, so, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will probably all be longer streams. I don't know how long. They probably won't be quite as long. Okay, the Wednesday stream might also be 6. But I don't know about the other one. The other ones. We'll see how it goes. It's basically gonna vary. We're not gonna have like set times. I'm just gonna pick a time. We'll decide it after the first stream. And we'll see how long it goes. And we'll see where we end up. But yeah. Odds are we're gonna have quite a few long streams for Zelda towards the beginning. Once we get down to like just Korok hunting, which what we're gonna be doing, I will say we're gonna do a large majority of our Korok hunting while we're doing everything else. Like, first things first, I will say we're gonna do everything on the Great Plateau, on Monday. Everything, including every chest. I will grab every chest. I'm that crazy. I have a map that shows every chest, and they don't respawn. I'll grab them all. Yeah, we'll kill the Talus. I can do the Talus. Easy peasy on the Great Plateau. I'm not afraid of him. Heck, I could probably take the Lionel. Maybe. Is he a low-level Lionel, or is he a high-level Lionel? I can't remember. Because we're doing Master Mode, so there's a Lionel up there, too. But yeah, we have to do every mini-boss, too, because they have check marks. Actually, no, Lionels don't have to be fought, because they don't count as mini-bosses. They count as normal enemies that also are very large, deadly. But I don't think we actually have to kill them for completion. There's not, like, a Lionel badges, there is. I don't think so. Because I know that guy gives you, like, rewards for beating all of them. I don't think there's one for the Lionels. We'll figure it out. I'll probably kill him anyways, just because I can. Might take us a few tries because I have to get like back into the feel of how the combat works. But yeah, I can fight a Lionel. Isn't a badge of honor. Okay. So then he's not technically required, so if we end up struggling with him, we won't worry about it. We'll come back for him later. But we will kill the Talus. Taluses are easy peasy. You'll be surprised how much you can find on the Great Plateau. But yep, that's going to be all from me today. I will see you guys on Friday, where we will finish Mario, most likely. If not, we'll finish it like early into the stream on Saturday, and then we'll move to Mario Maker or something. We'll figure it out. We'll decide. It's going to be either Shiny Hunting or Mario Maker. Whatever I'm feeling like on the day. It'll be a surprise. Yeah. Yeah, we'll beat a golden one at some point, just to say we did it. Yeah, I'll do that. Yep, that's all from me. I will see you guys on Friday, and I hope you have a good night, alright? See you then.